One motive for the Calgary Flames going into not only this offseason, but their rebuild as a whole is to get younger and better. And this is part 2 of our 3-part series where we'll be taking a dive into a recent article that has revealed 11 potential young trade targets that the Flames could pursue this summer. But before we get into the next batch of players, I want to welcome you to Flames Digest. I am Mark Griffith. If you're new around here and you love the Flames, make sure you subscribe so you can stay up to date on all the latest news, updates, reports, and rumors revolving around your Calgary Flames. And we would love to welcome you to the Flames Digest family. Hope you're having a wonderful weekend so far. But let's talk about what could be a perfect move, and it's a name that has been going around like crazy right now, but let's just play the chapter, a little sting here. It really could be perfect if the Flames were to make this move, as it probably wouldn't be too bad. And you guys can tell from, well, a lot of you could probably tell from the thumbnail who I am referring to right here, but of course, that man is Rutger McGroarty. What a name. Oh my goodness, that seems like a movie star name, or even just like a prime MLB name. But either way, McGroarty is a youngster. When I say young, he's 20 years old. He's a forward. And of course, he is currently with the Winnipeg Jets at the time of recording. We'll see what happens. But either way, he had 16 goals and 52 points in 36 games for the University of Michigan. We cannot escape the University of Michigan right now in all these videos ever since it was revealed that Gerdine won't be going there. But either way, 52 points in 36 games in an NCAA season is very, very impressive. And his contract status is interesting right now. He's made it known he doesn't really want to sign for the Jets, but he is in the Jets reserve list. He's still their property as we speak, but we will have to see what does end up happening. But again, all credit due to Julian MacKenzie of The Athletic for writing this entire article. We're going to be diving into it. If you missed yesterday's video, we did the same thing. This is part 2 of that. Tomorrow we'll have part 3. But either way, thank you, Mr. MacKenzie. Let's see what he has to say about young Rutger. He said he's a right winger coming off 2 solid seasons at the University of Michigan, and he'd surely bolster the Flames' prospect pipeline if they got him. Judging from his time in Michigan, he's got a quick release and can score or make plays from the slot/bumper position or the goal line. Here's the biggest question about McGroarty. Would he be interested in staying in Calgary? It's a question that technically could be asked of any of these players. And the reason why MacKenzie is bringing this up is, of course, because he's made it known he doesn't want to be in Winnipeg. Now, I'm biased, but I think it's relatively well known that Calgary is a much nicer city than Winnipeg. I do not hate Winnipeg, but I'm sorry, it's just not one of the top travel destinations in the world. And I know Calgary actually does get a lot of tourism. I mean, I kind of work in the industry, but either way, that's irrelevant. I don't know if McGroarty would want to stay here, but either way, it's not that bad worth pursuing because he's the type of guy who fits in perfectly in the Flames' plans for the future to get younger and better. He is a really good player, just has not been given the right opportunity at the NHL level. We could easily bring him into the NHL level, stick him in wherever he wants. Well, maybe not quite, but either way, he would easily be a right winger for us on whichever line could fit in. As long as he gelled well with his teammates, wanted to be here, it is worth going after. I would love to see this at least pursued. If it doesn't happen, won't be upset. But either way, I do really like this one, and it could be a perfect move. Now, another move that's very interesting is our first defenseman of the series, and that's Justin Barron, of course, of the Montreal Canadiens. He's a 22-year-old right-handed D-man, which the Flames could use. His stats this past season were 7 goals and 13 points in 48 games, so not too bad. You know, over a 20-point, kind of between that 20-25 point pace for a defenseman isn't too bad at all, and his current status is he is an RFA as of right now. Now, of course, what that means is we could offer sheet and something could happen, or we could make a trade happen and then, of course, sign him to some sort of deal. But I don't hate this either. This is, the first defenseman of this series. We are often talking about centers first and foremost, and then forwards that could fit in. But bringing in a Justin Barron already fixed one of the problems that the Flames do have. I know we have good defensemen in the pipeline. Parekh obviously will come up at some point, as will Bruce Stevich. We've got Poirier and other guys around. But Justin Barron, not a bad option. Let's see what MacKenzie has to say. The Canadiens have a surplus of defensemen in their pipeline and could move on from one if need be. Jordan Harrison, Arbor Xhekaj could be candidates here as well. Probably not for the Flames, but we've chosen mobile right shot defenseman Justin Barron, who could fill a need for the Flames. He could be an upgrade on Braden Pahal and Joel Hanley and be used alongside Kevin Ball or Jake Bean next season, all while making the team younger. Boom. The biggest drawback is that he'd be another roadblock in keeping the Flames' defensive prospects from taking a roster spot ahead of next season. Look, if Braden Pahal or Joel Hanley were going to be playing anyway, I'd rather have a Justin Barron in there. So honestly, this could also be a perfect move because it wouldn't stunt the growth of some of our other guys. Rasmus Andersson's not going to be here forever. Weegar is here for the long run and will probably and hopefully become captain of this team. But other than that, he should really be the only real vet when we're through all of this. You know, Kevin Ball is young still. Jake Bean is relatively young. We'll have to see how that pans out. I didn't really think about him. But either way, you know, we could still have room for Parekh, for Brustevich, and of course for Barron as well. And it would solve a problem. Am I saying he's, you know, an A1 kind of young NHL player? He's pretty good in terms of a defenseman. He's not exactly who we'd want to go after, but it could end up being a perfect move. I do not hate it. I like these first two that we've looked at in this batch in this video. Now, if we get into the next, we have some players that are worth a shot at going after. You know, might not be quite as decadent and mouth-watering when it comes to their potential services to this franchise. But let's dive into the next man, which is Dylan Holloway, shockingly, the 22-year-old center/left wing from the Edmonton Oilers, who had 6 goals and 9 points in 38 games this past season. He is also currently an RFA. It's worth a shot going after him, and I'm going to let Julian MacKenzie do the explaining on this one just because I was a little skeptical at first. He's not all that great of a player when it comes down to it. I'm not just hating because he's an Oiler. I'm just saying that because he's not exactly what the Flames could totally be after. But let's see what MacKenzie has to say. He said, "This is where things start to get interesting. If the Flames wanted to throw a wrench in their northern neighbors' salary cap structure, they're almost $2.5 million over the salary cap according to Cap Friendly. While we can still use it, they could always try to sign Holloway to an offer sheet. If the offer sheet had an AAV anywhere between 2.29 mil and 4.85 mil, it wouldn't be over that. It would only cost a second round pick as compensation." So pretty much what MacKenzie's saying is offer sheet Holloway just to kind of mess over the Oilers. I'm here for that. Honestly, why not? Now, to be honest, I guess it's worth a shot to at least see what happens, but I would be happy if we didn't end up with Dylan Holloway. He is a good player. He has potential, just isn't as juicy as some of the other guys in this video and in the previous video as well. I don't love it. I don't hate it. Take it or leave it, really, when it comes down to it. Let's dive into the next and final guy of this video, which is Alexei Protas. I probably butchered the actual pronunciation of that, but Protas, he is a 23-year-old center/winger from the Washington Capitals who started to kind of look really good towards the end of the season for the Caps, which is funny because the Capitals seemed to get worse and worse as the season went on. When Ovi wasn't in that weird scoring stretch, the Capitals were actually terrible. But anyway, it's 6 goals, 29 points in 78 games. His contract status is he becomes a UFA in 2029. So he is signed to a long-term contract. Not something I'm interested, but it is decently cheap at a little bit less than 3.4 mil per season. Let's see what MacKenzie has to say here. He said the Washington Capitals are over $13 million above the salary cap, which means they should be a prime target for the Flames. Yeah, we all know how that happened. They acquired Pierre-Luc Dubois and acquired Andrew. There it was. I actually didn't even mean to say it that time, but Andrew gets another mention. Such big contracts. What are they doing? Calgary could also offer themselves up as a haven for a bad contract or two, provided they get a significant prospect and or draft picks. One player the Flames could target is Protas, a 6'6", 225-pound Belarusian forward who could be used at center or wing. Put him on a line with the Belarusian beauty, Sharangovich. They could get some Belarusian chemistry on the go. I don't hate this one. The contract isn't exactly amazing. It would be very interesting to see what the Flames would actually offer for his services, and maybe we'd get more than just the prospect back. But either way, it is worth a shot pursuing him. I mean, clearly the Flames are comfortable making trades with the Capitals. The Capitals are weird, buying cap friendly, but seemingly don't know how the salary cap works. I don't know what's going on. Let's try and fleece them again is all I'm saying. But let's wrap up this video with the comment of the day. And this one has to, well, yeah, I'm not even going to give a little spoiler here. You'll just read it yourself. Here we go. This one comes from Jeff, said, missing the playoffs again this season. And at first, I thought this was a comment from someone who was just like, oh yeah, look at these moves, we're going to miss the playoffs again, that's too bad. No, this was someone trying to hate on the Flames and saying, oh, our team sucks, you're going to miss the playoffs again. That's the whole point of a rebuild. I don't think anyone here expects us to make the playoffs. We're not going to tank, but we're going to welcome some losses. Let's put it that way. We are sticking to the plan, sticking to the rebuild. We're fine with missing the playoffs. Nice try on that one. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please subscribe if you like what you saw here today and have a wonderful rest of your day.